And there we go. Record is happening. What is it? February 3rd, 2015. And I'm your host, Tony Stay. No, I'm not going to, that's the only time I'm going to do that silly voice. So don't worry. It's not going to be a common occurrence tonight. I'm very glad to be here. Hoping to be able to share a little bit of some nuggets of knowledge. You know, even just one thing. That's one thing that for me, everything that I go into, whether it's a team call or whether it's a live event where there's a speaker that's talking about something, church, going out listening to audiobooks. You know, each time I go into it, I expect to learn at least one thing. So even if it's a train wreck, I can find one thing to grab a hold of and use that. So now it's beneficial in my life, and then I can hopefully use that to others' benefit as well. Tonight, I kind of decided to, a while ago, the financial side of this business was, you know, what I wanted to learn a little bit. You know, not only just, you know, how to create an income with this business, but how to properly manage that, how to grow the business as a business. You know, a lot of us, we come into it, all right, we're going to become Beachbody coaches. All right, we set off. All right, now I'm getting healthy. You know, I'm starting to feel good on the inside. Now pretty soon I'm starting to look good on the outside. People are starting to notice, and now it's like, hey, I guess this stuff does work. Maybe I can start coaching. And now we start inviting people onto our team, and now we start growing it. And pretty soon, January 31st comes around of the new year, and we get this letter in the mail that says, hey, you earned X amount of money from your Beachbody business. Now, kind of what the heck do we do about it? All right, so we'll get into the tax side of it in a little bit, but first we want to kind of talk about money in terms of, you know, how we can, you know, use it, how we can grow with it and grow from it, and you know, how it can benefit our lives and the lives of our families and the lives of those around us. As we all know, you know, just because we're a good person doesn't mean we're going to have money. Just because we're a bad person doesn't mean we're not going to have money, or, you know, vice versa. You know, money is one of the ways that we can turn the dreams that we have into the reality that we live. So, you know, the things that, you know, if I've read many times before, if we're a good person before we start earning an income, if we're a good person when we have less, we're going to be a good person or a better person when we have more money. If we're a bad person, you know, if we're a prick or a butthead when we are poor, we're going to be a bigger butthead when we have money. So, you know, don't look at money as, or don't look at people as, well, they must be a good person because they're this, or they have this because they're that. You know, we don't want to distinguish it or give it any type of things. It has no moral value. It has nothing to do with how our lives turn out. But events in our life are going to shine light on what money really means to us. All right. Now do we use money as an excuse, or do we use money as a reason to do more? All right. You know, we're going to start seeing that it tells us if we let money control us, or if we control the money. You know, if we say, well, if we have that mentality of that poverty type mindset, well, I can't do it because I don't have any money, or I can't do it yet because I don't have. You know, and pretty soon we keep hearing, I don't have, or it's that excuse. Now that becomes who we are. All right. So first, to be rich, we have to already be rich. We have to be rich here, and we have to be rich long before money comes into our lives. All right. So know that long before this business started becoming such a huge part of our lives, we were making steps and taking the steps to kind of grow ourselves, and as that happened, there were blessings that came along with it. Now, it doesn't mean that it's always going to be there and it's always going to be coming in, but we know that we're already rich here, so no matter what happens, we're going to be able to go forward in life, and when the bad things come up, we're going to be able to respond appropriately. And hopefully, when those bad things, not if, but when those bad things happen in our lives, car breaks down, computer crashes, we get sick, have to spend a night or two in the hospital. When those things happen, hopefully we're setting ourselves up and setting up those things so that we're prepared for it, and we can respond to it with the right types of mindset, instead of having fear or anger or resentment to it, and we can resolve the situation because we're ready for it, or we know that we're going to be able to get through it. So a lot of the stuff that I'm getting, I'm reading Tony Robbins' Master the Money. I forget the name of it. It's his new book that's out, but in it he says, if you don't master money, it will master you. So even if we're without, it's our master. Even if we're with, it's our master, if we allow that to happen. All right. And what he goes into, I think, is really cool. And he says, what you're really after is what you think money is going to give you. Ultimately, it's a set of feelings, and beneath those feelings are needs. All right, so he has six needs that we have in our lives, and I'll share a link to these six needs, these six basic needs that he talks about that we live off of. And those six are certainty and comfort, okay, uncertainty and variety, significance, love and connection, growth, and contribution. We're just going to go through and just kind of touch real quickly on each of those needs, but know that deep down, all right, those are the things that drive us. Whatever that need is what's really driving us, and what's really going to help push us through. Sometimes, like he said, sometimes we chase after money that it's going to give us and fulfill those needs, which we all know is false. No matter what, if we have that need inside of us, we're not going to be able to fill it with a relationship. We're not going to be able to fill it with money. We're not going to be able to fill it with a new car, with a new house, with things. All right, that hole, it doesn't fit anything material, doesn't fit anything that's going on. But we're able to now, when we know, all right, when we know what it is, now we can either use it and grow with it, or we can continue to fight that battle that's going on inside of us, and prolong the blessings that are trying to come into our lives. All right, so need one, certainty, certainty and comfort. All right, our need to feel in control. All right, it's the basic comfort. Our need to avoid pain and stress, and to create pleasure. It affects how much risk we will take in our jobs, our relationships, our investments, all those things. And the higher the need for certainty in our life, the less risk you'll be willing to take or emotionally bear. All right, so this is I need to know everything about everything before I do this, because I want to know that I know that this is going to work, and I want to know that this is going to work for me, and I want to know that it's going to work for you before I take the risk of asking you to join this journey, or before I take any risk at all. I want to know the outcome. All right, so if that's kind of how we feel, that need of wanting to be in control or wanting to know this, that if we have control over everything, all right, we know, all right, we got that crystal ball, we're looking into it, we know how the future is going to turn out, we know that if I make this decision, this is going to happen, and this will happen, and this will happen, which sometimes we get in our heads that we want, and we think we want. All right, pretty soon, okay, cool, this is all right, I'm, all these things are going my way. And pretty soon now everything is happening just the way I want it. And now what happens? Start to get a little bored, right? And it's like, man, I guess being in control of all this really isn't all it's kind of hopped up to be. And so we kind of lose a little bit of that pizzazz that being in control of everything has. All right. So that moves on to need number 2, that uncertainty and variety. All right. We need variety and surprise. And by surprise, we like surprises, right? Everybody likes surprises when they happen in our lives. At least we like the surprises that we want, right? The surprises that we don't want, those are called problems, all right? All of a sudden, oh, surprise, car won't start. That's a problem, all right? So don't like those types of surprises. But remember, problems help grow our character, all right? Car won't start doesn't mean I get out and shoot out all the tires and smash in the windshield and curse on it and say, well, so much for you, car. You're not worth anything. Well, we grow from those experiences. Or relationships, all of a sudden there's a new surprise that we weren't ready for. A good surprise, hey, congratulations, you're having a baby. Or surprise, I want to marry you. Those types of surprises come in. Now our character grows because now I'm going to be a parent. Our character needs to grow. I'm going to be a spouse. Our character needs to grow. Car breaks down. I lose my job. My character still needs to grow. But it's in a different kind of a little different tone. All right. So that's need number 2. Moving on to need 3, significance. We all need to feel important. Okay, special, unique, or needed. All right, so significance, that need really isn't, we don't have to delve all too much into that because it's kind of self-explanatory. If your love language is, words of affirmation or, those things that make you feel, significant, that need is something that's coming out in your life and something that's going to drive you, to do more. Hey, congratulations, you're an emerald. Congratulations, you're a diamond. Congratulations, you're a 10-star. Congratulations. Those types of things. All right. Now, obviously, they're things out here, but it helps make us feel needed. Helps us make us feel important. So we all like that, and it all drives us. How much it drives us is up to each and every one of us. One need for me is going to be different than a need for you. The needs that drive me are going to be different than the needs of everybody else. But the levels will change between everybody. But we all need some form or variety of these 6. All right. So moving on to need number 4, love and connection. All right. So love, it's the oxygen of life, what we all want and need most. All right. And when we love completely, we feel alive. But when we lose love, the pain is so great that most people settle on connection, the crumbs of love. That was a pretty cool little sentence there. When we lose love, we settle on connection, which is the crumbs of love. So looking at love and connection in your life, when he says, love is the oxygen of life. All right, here's something that we all need. All right, it's a need that we all have. We need love the second we take our first breath in this life. All right, because without it, we're not going to survive all too long. All right, if mom and dad, especially if mom doesn't love you right then and there, you're not gonna grow. You're not gonna have that connection right away in life. Later on in life we can find it. We all know that things happen, and at some point this need will bubble up to the surface, and we have to address it. Okay, so addressing it in our lives, we have to say, all right, how important is love and connection in my life? We all need it. How important is it? And that's going to fuel us drive us and push us to do more. All right, and remember, now we're talking about these needs in terms of, you know, how much they push us and drive us to grow ourselves, to grow our business, to grow our relationships, to grow everything around us. All right, and in the book, you know, money is kind of just that. It jumps on at any point of the journey, and will either be used to, you know, accelerate things and help you be able to share all these connections and all these needs with others, and or, you know, you can get a lot of money when you're not ready for it, and we all know that it's gonna drive us faster in the wrong direction than anything. So fulfilling these needs, or at least figuring out what these needs are for us ourselves, is real important, so that we, you know, in turn can control money a lot better than you know, if we don't understand these needs. You know, if we don't have control over our money, again, it's going to control us, and we don't want that to happen. So moving on to need number 5, which is growth. Now these last two are a little bit more further on down the road, you know, because we have to choose to allow these in our lives. We have to choose to grow. All right, you know, because if we don't choose to grow, if we don't choose to water this plant sitting on the desk, what's going to happen? All right, and it's going to decay. It's going to slowly die, just like us. You know, that second we take our first breath, what are we doing? We're, you know, even though we're growing and getting taller, getting bigger, we're, you know, one breath closer to our last. So we have to choose to grow, and if you're not growing, of course, you're dying. So and the reason we grow is so we have something of value to give. All right, which is huge, and why it's so important that one of the 3 vital behaviors in this business is personal development. One of the things that so many businesses, you know, just push forward and push to the forefront of the, you know, their workforce, is helping people grow and helping people become better, because we know that when we start to grow and to get better, we're able to add value to others. In this business, we add value to others. It's going to bring people in so that we can share that with them, and that value continues to grow. And a lot of times that's how our businesses grow, and income comes in. And the more we share, the more value we give. The more we grow ourselves, the more value we give. The more we grow, the more value we give. You know, chances are our business is going to, you know, grow pretty close to consistent with that. You know, it might lag a little bit, but pretty soon it catches up. And some people will come in who are going to, boom, they're going to grow real fast, and they have all these things that are going, and their business is going to grow, and their business is going to grow. And, you know, it makes things exciting. It makes things fun, because it's a wonderful environment to be in. Everybody's growing. Everybody's sharing things with each other. There's value to be offered. There's things that we're all giving, and you know, so personal development. If we're not doing it, if we're not reading, if we're not doing some audio on the way to work, if we're not doing audio during the day, you know, all of those things, you know, that's where growth, that need, we have it inside of us. You know, if we're just kind of, you know, just drifting through life, just allowing things to just go wherever, you know, we're really not growing. We're just, you know, we're just here, and then we're just there, and then we're just here. So choose to kind of set the sails and grow. And then, you know, however hard that wind blows behind us is, you know, it's not up to us. We just have to say, all right, I'm growing. This is where we're going. Need number 6 is contribution. All right. And Tony Robbins says that the secret to living is giving. All right. It's not about me. It's about we. All right. Kind of sounds pretty similar to what this business is, right? It's not really about me. It's about what we're doing and what we're all a part of. All right, there's that bigger cause. All right, ending the trend of obesity is a bigger cause that we're a part of. Helping lead healthy and fulfilling lives is a bigger cause that we're a part of. All right, and at first when we come in, we teach people the steps to get on a better level with themselves, and then pretty soon we start feeling better. Oh man, we can't help but share what's going on in our lives, because when good stuff starts to happen, what's the first thing that we do usually? We pick up the phone and say, hey, you're not going to believe this happened to me today. It is so awesome. And and we call our friend, we call our spouse, we call our other loved ones, and we tell them. So we're not meant to go through this all on our own. It's meant to have other people that are joining us in the journey, because sharing enhances everything that we experience. All right, get up onto the top of the mountain, we look around and say, this is awesome, and we can look around, and if there's nobody there to enjoy it with us, yeah, we can enjoy it for that second. But I look over and there's Kathleen, and it's like, oh man, how cool is this? And then next week we can talk about it, and then a month from now we can talk about it. That experience it goes on for as long as we want. So life is really about creating that meaning, and meaning doesn't come from what we get, it comes from what we give. All right, so ultimately what you get will never make you happy, all right, long term. But who you become and what you contribute can and will help you be happy. So now, getting back to the point when I said at first, if you want to be rich, start rich. All right, so one thing that we can all do to really start rich and live that rich and fulfilling life right now is by being grateful. All right, a gratitude list. If you have a gratitude list and you're adding to it daily, awesome. If you don't have one, start putting down things that you're grateful for. Because on those days where, man, everything is happening, it's crashing down on us. Brandy just had her purse stolen yesterday or the day before. Things can happen, but what she did, she focused on what she was grateful for, and what happens. All right, I can now get through this, and pretty soon, now there's blessings that come, with that storm and through it. Bad things happen, all right, but there's still a lot of things in our lives that we have to be grateful for. And when we can focus on that, and when we can focus on that just right here, right now, today, and every day, you're going to have a much better chance at sharing that smile that really means something with somebody. And that smile could be something that changes their life, today. But if I allow my circumstances to kind of beat me down and keep me down, now we're not able to share, we're not able to give, we're not able to contribute, we're not able to grow, we're not able, but when we're grateful for things, we're in a much better environment to allow those things to happen. All right. And last, from the Tony Horton stuff, or Tony Horton, listen to me. We're a Beachbody coach, right? So Tony Robbins, to have unconventional success, you can't be guided by conventional wisdom. All right. So this gets into kind of, that's why dream building is why vision boards, all of those things are things that we like to promote, because when we can put some things on there that, our whole lives, maybe we've been told you're not going to amount to much. You're not gonna have these types of things in your life. You're not worthy enough. You're not valuable enough. Whoever is saying that, family, friends, whoever says it, don't listen. Okay, because each and every one of us have value in us. We have things that we're able to give, and that has nothing to do with who we are and what we're about. But if we're focused on the things that each day we're grateful for, if we're focused on the things that are going to grow us and help us get better, it's going to help us share the things that maybe in the past kind of put us down. That's why sharing our story is so powerful, because 9 times out of 10, somebody out there has experienced what you've experienced, or has gone through something similar to what you've gone through, or is going through something you've gone through in the past. So sharing that makes a connection, and if we keep it in and keep it to ourselves, we're not going to get better because of it. They may not make it through it because nobody is reaching out. So we always want to have the opportunity to share that. So getting a little bit off the track, but I figured I'd go down that trail just a little bit. So, but the unconventional success that I started talking about, where the goal boards are there, we can see, hey, if we want to retire at 35 years old, conventional wisdom says, oh, you're crazy, but unconventional wisdom says, hey, why not? Here's what you got to do. If you put the energy into it and you start doing it, there's a good chance that you are going to get there. All right. It may not be right at 35, could be 36, could be 40, but you're working towards something that a lot of people think they're not going to get till 65, 70 years old. Any time that we can gain in our lives is invaluable, because time is, as we get older, we see that time is way more valuable than money ever could be in our lives. So think unconventional when we start to think about what this business can do for our lives and what we're capable of, because if we leave it to the conventional wisdom and those Monday morning quarterbacks that like to talk in our ears at the water cooler at work, or we hear talking in the halls, or we see talking on their Facebook walls, they're going to say that it's not possible, and they want to stay comfortable in the fact that it isn't possible, and they want to try to keep everybody there. But we know that we can grow, and depending on how quickly we want to grow, or how big we want to grow, we got to tap into those needs. What drives us? We got to be grateful. Why each day I'm going to be doing those things, those 3 vital behaviors. Why every day I'm going to be talking to somebody about bettering themselves, bettering their lives, because we have bigger things that we're working towards. So, speaking of the bigger things, now we'll start talking a little bit about the income side of this. Now, reading Dave Ramsey's the Legacy Journey. Anybody read that book yet or heard about it? It's a very, very good book. He has Financial Peace. He's got a lot of books talking about creating a budget, how to manage money, and there's a lot of good wisdom in all of his books. But in the Legacy Journey, there was a part in there that really struck a chord in me, to where he asked, how much do you need to live on? All right, so we can look at our income, wherever it may be, and we can say, here's how much I need to live on. Now, if I say I need to live on everything that I'm earning, all right, 100% of what I'm bringing in, I need to live on, we're not going to have much room for the things that are preparing ourselves for the future. We're going to be a lot more hesitant. We're going to be a lot more fearful to save. We're going to be a lot more, cautious in our giving. We're going to be, those things are going to kind of hold us back. But if we can take a good, honest look at how much we're making and how much we're able to live on, all right, we're going to be able to kind of set things up in a way where now we can kind of systematically start preparing for the future. All right, so we're going to talk about where we're at right now, okay, with our jobs, with our income, what's going on. All right, we're going to talk about how Beachbody can kind of accelerate our savings, can accelerate our preparing for the future, can accelerate, you know, going after those dreams that we have on our goal boards. And then also we're going to talk a little bit about how we can get to those types of levels of savings and all of that with, you know, the different levels in our business: emerald, ruby, diamond, etc. All right, so we're gonna go off of a $30,000 a year. All right, our income is $30,000. All right, so all year long, we get in end of the year, all those forms come back from the IRS and it tells us that we made $30,000. All right, so actually, we're going to say we made a little bit more than that, $32,000, okay? But in our heads, we say, all right, I guess I could live off of $30,000. All right, so what he talks about is picking that level of income that you feel that you can live off of. All right, so we're going to say $30,000. All right, and then you make, we'll say 32,000, 35, or $40,000. In actuality, all right, there's going to be on that $2,000, that $5,000, that $10,000 more than what you pick that number that you can live on, where there's going to be percentages that we break down, and we're going to automatically allow that money to go to places so that we don't see it, we kind of don't touch it. We know that it's out there, but we really don't know what it is, because, you know, if any of you are like me, if I see that number on my bank balance, it's like, I got a way that I can use that. Yeah, I'll just use it right now, and then I'll just build that back up. Yeah, this is stuff that when we put it there, we're not going to touch. All right. Okay. So for the sake of going into some crazy math numbers, because I became a coach because I don't want to worry about math. All right. So we're going to say that, you know, you pick that $30,000 a year. All right. Now it could be 40, it could be 50, whatever, wherever you're at. Think about the number. All right. I want you all to kind of think about that number that, all right, you can say, all right, I think I can live off of this number right here. All right. So get that number in your head. All right. For where we're at right now, we're going to use $40,000. We'll say what's actually there. And I think I can live off of $30,000. All right. So now there's that 10% or that $10,000 gap. All right. So now there's percentages that we break down. All right. So he says that 50% of it, all right, goes to taxes and to a tithe. All right. So that's 50% taxes. All right. It's why should we be, you know, I think I was reading, I think 2.9 hours of every day we work is working for taxes. I think it's like 3 months of every year goes to taxes, or 4 years, and 29 years of our life goes to paying taxes. Strictly at 40 hours a week, boom. 52 weeks a year, boom, goes right to taxes. All right, so 50% goes to taxes and tithes. So think 40%, 10% to tithe. All right. And for those who don't know what the tithe is, that's giving. All right. So of that 10,000, 50%, $5,000. All right, it's going into an account a savings account, a money market account, somewhere where it's just going to sit there and it's going to grow. Every week that we get a paycheck, 50% of it, all right, boom, goes right into that savings account. All right. Now, because we want to plan ahead, 35% goes to investments and savings. All right. So this is a savings that is for us. This is for us to keep. All right. 35% is the number that he uses. All right. So $3,500 over the year. All right. But each week, 35%. All right. And now remember, you can pick these percentages, these breakdowns, all right, and figure out how you want it. It's your money. You're going to be able to figure out how to use it, all right, so that what happens, money isn't using us, all right. So you're figuring out these percentage breakdowns. All right, so $3,500 goes into a savings for me, for my family, long term. All right, 10% can go into debt reduction. We'll say 10% goes into paying off debt. That number could be higher. You know, it could be 25%, and you have 10% going into savings. All right, wherever you're at, whatever it is. But as debt goes down, now what happens? That percentage of our savings can go up. All right, so that's $1,000 every year. 10% every week, every pay period. You're putting somewhere. All right, and then the last one to get to 100% is 5% for extra lifestyle. All right, extra lifestyle is, you know, hey, I want a new pair of shoes. Hey, I need a new workout outfit. Hey, I need, you know, there's something. Could be a need, could be a want, whatever it is. You know, we know the difference between needs and wants. So, but that's $500, all right, over the year. So 5%, we're putting that in, all right. End of the year, we're gonna have $500 extra that we get to use. Christmas, all right, we can use it then. We can use it to go on that family vacation, all right. So those are those breakdowns, all right. And you can play around with it, all right. You can get that number, but the biggest thing, and he really stresses that you kind of really have to get quiet, you know, pray on it. You know, if you're a praying person, and just think about what that number is, all right? Because once we establish that number, all right, here's what I'm comfortable living on every year, all right? Now we can work there, and everything above that now is going to start growing to fund those other things that are happening in the future, all right? Our savings, college funds, if you want to put a percentage towards your kids' college funds, you know, all of those things, you can break down those percentages however you want. Remember, it's your money. You can work with it however you want. But those percentages stay consistent, and they go out and they get put to use in whatever way that you establish. All right. So how does Beachbody have anything to do with you know, helping us save for the future? How does Beachbody have anything to do with you know, planning for retirement? Okay, we can look at it as that way. You know, we can look at it however we want. You know, but if we have an extra $250 coming into our household a week, you know, how life-changing is that for pretty much everybody on this planet? You know, you have an extra $250 coming in. That's $250 you never had before. You know, that's $50 you never had before. That's $25 you never had before. Whatever it may be, it can be used. Again, it's your money. It can be used however you decide to use it. All right. So, Emerald Business. Okay. Maxed Out Weekly. You know, one thing that I talk about with Scotty Hobbs and Michael Greenberg and our trip just a little while ago was, you know, starting out and teaching teaching your coaches how to grow and build a good solid Emerald business. A good solid Emerald business will bring in $250 a week into your household. All right. So as an Emerald, that's what you can work towards, and that's what the potential is. All right. Now, obviously, we know that we bring new people in, we plug them into DFG, we plug them into Beachbody. There's chances that they're going to grow, and all of a sudden, we're a ruby, we're a diamond. Before anything close to $250 comes into our business in a week. That $250 is a potential, and that $250 is a max. So that's an extra $1,000 a month. That's an extra $13,000 a year. I don't know how Beachbody got that math, but the potential earnings for a maxed out Emerald business is $1,000 a month, $13,000 a year. All right, and the type of volume that we're looking at. All right, talking about how do we get to that $250? Weak leg volume of 1,800 PV, strong leg volume, obviously has to be double that to get there. So at least 3,600 and above to get to those types of incomes. All right. So talking numbers, those are the types of numbers. And as your business grows, Ruby, potential $1,000 a week. Diamond, potential $2,000 a week. One star, potential $3,000 a week. And on and on and on. All right, up to 15 star, which I think is $12,000 a week. I didn't look there because we want to talk about, yes, that's the potential, but hey, let's focus on starting out right, getting a good foundation, and growing, and teaching people how we can make some life-changing money, with an Emerald business. All right. So those are kind of the things that, as far as how to use money, how to use this business to control that money and grow that money. And now, from a tax standpoint, since it is tax season, I'm seeing everybody's getting their 1099s in. And now there's probably hey, what do I do now? What kind of things are, good to write off? What can I write off? How much can I write off? One reason why I love this business is because there are a lot of things that we can do to incorporate this business into our daily lives, which in turn allows us to use those interactions, those transactions as business. All right, going out to eat. Okay, Lindsay and I like to go out to eat. We go out to Panera. We sit down. Chances are we're talking about business expense. All right, we bring out a new coach. We bring out a potential coach. If you're not talking about business and you're sitting down with a coach, you should be. All right. They say that, as long as the intent is to grow your business, you can use that as a write-off. All right, talk to your accountant. Make sure that if you don't have an accountant, please ask me if it's like, hey, I've been doing TurboTax online and filing on my own. Feel free to ask any questions. Message me. I can find out the answer if I don't know it and let you know. But trips. We love to travel. All right. Why do we go out? Why do we go out to visit coaches in Montana? Well, Montana's awesome, and Montana so happens to have one of the top coaches in Beachbody, and I can talk to him about business after skiing all day. Oh, okay. 70% of the time, has to have business involved in it. All right. Or growing your business in a way. When we weren't skiing, we were talking about business. All right. And, you can kind of play around, that 70% of the time. But, when we're traveling and we're going to visit coaches, we go up to Virginia to visit Danette and Adam. You know, we talk business. All right. Yeah, it's kind of on our way up to Minnesota, which is, you know, you could be looking at it as a personal trip, but we're doing business along the way. So travel is written off, mileage written off. You know, your home office. All right. Here we turned a room in the house into an office. Prior to that, our office was our dining room. We measured out the space that we were using for our office and gave those numbers. And I think per square footage, there's a breakdown as far as how much you're able to deduct from your home expenses. A certain percentage goes to electric, a certain percentage goes to heating, a certain percentage goes to sewer. You know, we get water here. We write off water because we say it's a business expense when clients come over. You know, there's a lot of things. And as your business grows, you dig as much as you can to find as many write-offs as you can. And, you know, my thing is I want to keep as much of the money that we earn as possible, you know, without ever having to sleep with one eye open or turn my phone off because I'm getting so many calls from the IRS saying, hey, you're not doing things the right way. All right. So, you know, that's the thing I say. I said, you know, we want to keep as much that's coming in as we can. I don't want to throw up any red flags. So if an idea that I present to you, you know, when I'm speaking to the accountant, if there's an idea that I present to you that is not so bueno, you tell me, because I would rather be on the straight and narrow than kind of playing on a slippery slope. All right. I'm all right with kind of slipping and sliding a little bit, but I don't want to be so far down that, you know, I could at any point, I don't want to get audited. None of that stuff. So, and I don't want any of you to either. So, so yeah, so that's the tax side of it. So now I think what I'd like to do is kind of open it up to y'all as far as any questions, you know, about anything that you heard tonight, anything that you have business-wise as far as taxes go. We're going to stay financial based in our questions just to kind of keep the consistency or congruency of the call going. So if you're on and you have, if you see yourself on the screen and know that you can ask a question, feel free. And if anybody is wanting to ask in the Q&A section, feel free to ask there as well. As far as right now, there are no questions. So everything that I said was absorbed, which is awesome. Is that what that means, right? There's no questions? Or you didn't learn anything and you have enough, or we're just like, what just happened there? All right, so, oh, hold on, there we go. All right, I did get a Q&A. All right, so what kind of tax professional do you recommend most? CPA, H&R Block, EA. Well, I wonder what EA is. I'm not sure what the EA is. Brian, if you can tell me what the EA is, that'd be awesome. So an accountant, a CPA, who's going to, I would go there if your business is starting to see some good growth. All right, because they're gonna be able to really help out with the you know, what to do with the money as it comes in, and kind of, you know, how to use, you know, the tax code in the best. Okay, enrolled agent. We use a CPA. A lot of people that have some good sized businesses are using a CPA. H&R Block, you know, I think because it's so big, you know, you could use that, but there is a lot of money that goes into advertising for H&R Block. So as we all know, anything that it goes, there's a lot of advertising in. I think there's a lot of, you know, there's a lot of money that could spend on it that you don't necessarily need to. But a CPA is going to definitely know, and a CPA that has good knowledge in, an entrepreneurial minded CPA is going to be the perfect person, because now they know, as far as what business is doing, how you can use the tax law and the tax code in your benefit. I read somewhere that there's 5,200 pages in the U.S. tax code, and I think like 200 pages is about paying taxes. All right, and why we have to pay taxes. The other 4,800 pages are pretty much how not to pay taxes and showing you ways to make your business and tax code beneficial for you. So, which is why lawmakers get into politics, is because they can write the tax code and make it, but we're not going to go there. So, let's see. All right. So I don't know if that answered your question at all, Brian, but we use a CPA, and she's pretty knowledgeable as far as the tax code goes, and everything that I have a question for, as far as what a write-off and a good one would be, she usually finds the answer, and if it's something that we can do. So. And I'll definitely know the answer of how good she is in a month or two when taxes are finally done. So, all right. There's Marcus says that there's a book. If anybody wants a little personal development, Lower Your Taxes Big Time is the name of the book, and that's kind of a how-to book for business and taxes. I'm reading Tax-Free Wealth right now, talking about trying to get to where you're not paying any taxes on your wealth, which you're paying money in, but there's ways to make it work in your favor. So that's another book, Tax-Free Wealth. All right. Anybody any other questions coming at?
I have a question, Tony.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
At what point do you think it's important to really start itemizing everything in something like QuickBooks instead of just stuffing it in an envelope like I do currently?
Mm-hmm. We had the envelope method the first 2 years in our business. This is the first year that we've brought QuickBooks in, but we're both full-time in the business. So, obviously there's going to be a lot more, due diligence that's needed to prove that this was business oriented. So, and QuickBooks, from what we're seeing, is, it puts everything in there, shows everything, you categorize it, and boom, it's there. So, but if you're a QuickBooks junkie and you like seeing all that stuff, and you want to develop that habit early on, start now, so that when you're making millions of dollars a year, you have that system down and you don't have to figure it out then. And then it just makes things a lot more neat and clean. You still have to have the receipts. You still have to hold on to all that. Not sure if it's 7 years they go back or whatever that number is, but you have to hold on to those receipts. So now, we're starting now this year to start scanning receipts so that they're saved in a file. Still holding on to the paper ones just in case. But the carbon and all the stuff printed on the receipts could disappear, and 5 years down the road, if you get audited and they ask for 2014's receipts and they're nothing but blank pieces of paper, things can get a little crazy. So, you know, there's ways to, you know, there's more steps to safeguard yourself, to develop that system. However much you want to put into it, however much effort you want to put into it now, you know, will only, you know, better you as your business grows. Especially if this is something that you want to turn into a full-time income, or at least a very substantial part-time income. You know, having some knowledge, head knowledge of, you know, how to track all that stuff is, I think, important. So you know, but like I said, the envelope system, writing down those numbers and giving those numbers to your CPA or punching them into TurboTax or H&R Block, you know, is fine. That's what we did last year. You know, but like I said, this year now there's a little more involvement in it. So we just took that next step. And actually, we didn't really take that next step of doing TurboTax until, you know, I wanted to get it going in June, but I think it's happened in November, you know, so there was a lot of, you know, backlog going on, but, you know, now it's all there, and now we can, you know, track everything a lot easier. All right, next question. Good question, Brandy.
As far as writing off like your Shakeology and any kind of Beachbody purchases you make, what would you say is the smartest way to bring all of that to your accountant or whoever's doing your taxes? Do you just print off your order history, or do you ask Beachbody for something?
Yeah, your order history will show all of your Shakeology. Okay. Yeah, it'll show everything that you brought into your business.
Okay.
Cool. We've used it all because there's, you know, there's people always coming over. So we're making shakes, you know, there's, you know, we can show that there's enough activity going on to where we're writing off our Shakeology. We've been writing it off. So, because it is part of this business. So, you know, some people may dispute it, you know, but it, you know, look at it however you may want, talk to your accountant, and, you know, just, you know, I think that you'd be fine either way. You know, but if you do have, you know, one of the things that you enjoy doing is, say, getting the packets, all your new coaches get a packet, or all of your potential customers, you ship those up, you know, for advertising. Those things are definitely business expenses, and you want to make sure that you're saving that number and sharing it with your accountant or on your taxes.
Cool. Thank you.
Yep. All right. Anybody else? We're doing pretty good on time. We're an hour in, so we can have any final questions. Feel free, if you don't want to say them, feel free to type them in. I'll kind of leave it open for just a little bit longer, and then kind of go from there. But pretty exciting start to the year, huh? Everybody excited for the Extreme and all the stuff that's going to come along with it. I just ordered it, so I did the rush delivery, so I'm hoping to have it by the weekend so that I can get all familiarized with it and start it off on Monday. And, you know, the Max 30, I'll be finishing that on Saturday, and it'll be the first program that I've done from day 1 to day 60, or any program in its entirety. You know, even the 21-day fix, you know, I kind of, you know, mixed it in here and there. So I'll take that before, and I'll take that after, and I'm going to get that shirt. So it'll be the first one in my journey. So, so I'm pretty proud of myself there a little bit. But then I'm excited to do the Extreme and see what happens there. Anybody else going to do 21-day fix Extreme? Yeah? Good, 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 good. I think it's going to be a fun one. Autumn seems very ready to kick some butt in it, and kind of gets that I'm gonna beat you up type look in her face when she talks about it. So I think it'll be a good one. Well, very cool. Well, I'm going to stop recording.